here's everything you're going to need to know about the 31 Atlas, right? Today's video is going to be just focusing on two things. The 31 Atlas, this potential UFO mothership thing coming towards Earth. And the other thing is an incredible CCTV footage of a potential alien, an extraterrestrial caught on a ring camera. And I also have a voice message from the property owner. The lady has told me her thoughts and feelings about the whole situation. So we're going to be taking a look at that and a listen in a second. But first of all, I want to talk about the Harvard professor, Avi Loeb. Man, this is crazy. So, right, let me just, because I'm a little bit excited about it, but I have to be sort of like, level-headed. The first major thing I remember hearing a while ago now was about the Oumuamua, right? This massive, huge structure going at crazy speeds and maneuvering as well. I mean, shooting stars, comets, and they shouldn't really maneuver in the way they do. Yes, maybe gravitational pulls here and there and that, but not changing direction willy-nilly, right? Okay, here's the main points that you're going to need to know about this potential alien strike. All right. The object is called 31 Atlas. Previously, the A11P13Z. What I covered on a video the other day, I actually showed you the images of it moving and things like that. Okay, but obviously they've updated the name to 31 Atlas. The size of it is 10 to 20 kilometers wide, roughly the size of Manhattan. What? Speed over 60 kilometers per second, moving towards Earth. First spotted by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System (ATLAS) telescope in Rio Hurtado in Chile. Hypothesis, okay? Proposed by Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb with Adam Hibbert and Adam Crowell from the Initiative for Interstellar Studies in London. Claim. The object may be now this is a claim, the object may be an alien spacecraft potentially capable of launching a surprise attack on Earth. And I'll get into why it potentially could be a surprise attack in a second, okay? Basis, its unusual orbit, size, speed, and lack of typical cometry features suggest it could be artificial, right? So it just doesn't look and move and seem like a comet, for example. Study status, not yet peer-reviewed, described as a testable but hypothetical scenario. All right. Orbit timing, closest approach to the sun, late November 2025. Significance, the object will be hidden from Earth's view behind the sun, potentially allowing a secret high-speed maneuver. Now, there's a reason why it would be a high-speed maneuver and a potential attack if it was by the sun. It's to do with the gravitational swing of the sun's gravity and things like that, okay? But I'll show you a video of what Avi Loeb says about that in a second. Now, context of Avi Loeb. Background. Prominent Harvard astrophysicist known for alien research and controversial theories. Now, that sort of does my head in a little bit because it's not... Why? It's controversial to the people that don't accept alien life. Right? Because he's just saying what potentially it could be. When you have an infinite space out there, well, then you've got infinite possibilities. And if you've got infinite possibilities, then you've got infinite potential life, right? Previous claims suggest that the 2017 interstellar object Oumuamua might be an artificial probe from an alien civilization. Why? Because it wasn't moving like anything they've ever seen before. It wasn't going the speed of anything they've ever seen before. There were certain other things about it that just didn't seem right, and we still don't know what it was. So, how is that controversial? Likelihood of implications. Author's stance, the hypothesis is speculative, and they do not necessarily believe it will happen. Potential risk, if true, it could be dire for humanity, possibly requiring defense measures through these might be futile. Basically, because of the speed and the size of this thing, we've got nothing that we can actually use. Even if people say, yeah, we've got a nuke. Right, this thing's going too quick and it's too big for even a nuke. Okay? Skepticism. Critics argue there's insufficient evidence for extraterrestrial claims. Okay. Most likely explanation, the object is a natural body such as a comet. Right. Further study. Recommended tools, observations like the Vera C. Rubin Observatory of the James Webb Space Telescope to gather more data and clarify the object's nature. Okay, right. So there's a few things that I'm thinking off the top of my head, right? One, it's very close to what Jeremy Corbell was talking about, which potentially could be a big lie, hence what we talk about the Project Bluebeam, right? Project Bluebeam is conspiracy theory. Oh, I fucking hate that word. Is a conspiracy theory introduced in 1994 by Canadian journalist Serge Monas, who claimed NASA and the United Nations were planning to establish a new world order by implementing a global New Age religion with a Antichrist as its head, right? So basically, they're going to say, they're going to project images or some sort. They're going to say that there's this alien invasion and we will have to obey to that thing, right? When in reality, they're controlling it all. And it's like it says, one world order. We all have to obey to this one thing, okay? But this is what Jeremy Corbell said ages ago, that this potential alien ship, whatever, could be coming to Earth. Listen to this. This is what Jeremy Corbell says a while ago.
Wants you to know one truth, and that truth is that UFOs are real. They've already done told you. Sometimes when you want somebody to know a truth, it's so you can set them up to believe a lie, and that's coming. I have zero doubt that lie is coming.
What is the lie?
Specifically, you want me to say it right now, for real? Real? On camera? To be put in the show?
Yes.
Okay. Problem with that. If we tell the lie before it's told, they can adapt. That wouldn't be wise. I'll tell you privately, but I would really think about if you want to put this in your show. For real. That's a real thing I'm telling you. So will you think about it before putting it in your show?
Absolutely.
Okay. So UFOs are real, and they've been here a long time, and that's the truth. But the lie is coming. All indications, like all of them, is that that lie is going to be that there is a craft slowly making its way to us here on Earth. And that is the lie they're going to want you to believe. It's nuanced, how they explain that, the nature of that threat. But that 100% is the lie you are going to be told. You even got a date. People have been whispering a date for a long time now. I know.
Now, the date is 2027. He shows it in a second, okay? I'm not going to go back to that because I've covered it a few times on this channel, okay? See, one thing that he said about that is that if you openly say what the plan is, they'll have time to adjust to that, right? So if you say a spacecraft's coming on the 30th of July, well, then they'll be like, oh, let's not do that because they know it's going to be 30th of July. Let's do it another time. So was the Oumuamua the original, Project Bluebeam? But then we've talked about it so much and covered it so much and saying that it's going to be Project Bluebeam, then they're going, oh god, they caught on to us. Well, let's now say it's going to be the 31 Atlas. That's going to be the one. I don't know, but I find it quite interesting that we are seeing more and more of these anomalies heading towards Earth. Or is it because our technology's just got better and we're just seeing more of these things now? But here's Avi Loeb talking about this particular probe. It could be a probe coming towards Earth, okay?
co-author on a paper with Adam Hibberd and Adam Crowell, where we said the trajectory of this object appears to be quite remarkable. It arrives within 5 degrees of the orbital plane of the Earth around the Sun. And the chance of that happening randomly is 0.2%. And moreover, it will arrive closest
0.2%. Okay, hang on. Listen to that again.
To the Sun when the trajectory of this object appears to be quite remarkable. It arrives within 5 degrees of the orbital plane of the Earth around the Sun. And the chance of that happening randomly is 0.2%. And moreover, it will arrive closest to the Sun when the Earth is on the opposite side of the Sun. And moreover, if you just play with the arrival time randomly, you would notice that only 1 out of 20,000 arrival times would come as close to the inner planets like Jupiter, Mars, or Venus. So that is an unusual coincidence.
1 out of 20,000 times.
And why would such a trajectory be so unusual? Well, one possibility is if it was designed by some intelligent civilization, it also comes towards us from the direction of the galactic center, from the Milky Way center, where there are lots of stars, and it's very difficult to notice it. That's why we discovered it so late. By now, it's impossible for us to launch a rocket that will intercept with it, because it would move relative to Earth. It comes in the opposite direction of the motion of Earth around the Sun, and the relative velocity would be 98 kilometers per second when it comes closest to the Sun. And that is
98 kilometers per second. So basically, it's basically going this way. It's not even chasing the planet. It's going this way, crossing. So it's 90. That's quick.
It's the maximum speed that we can accomplish with chemical rockets.
What was that?
And so when it comes closest to the Sun, and that is 3 times the maximum speed that we can accomplish with chemical rockets.
Wow.
And so there is no way for us to reach it, to intercept with it. And perhaps it wants to break, like when we launch rockets and we want to accomplish a very high speed, we usually introduce a thrust near the Sun, and that buys you the highest kick velocity, taking advantage of the gravitational assist by the Sun. And so if this object wants to do a reverse maneuver, meaning to slow down and get bound to the Sun so that if it's a spacecraft, so that they can visit us, that would be the point where we can't see it because it's hiding behind the Sun. And it raises the interesting possibility that might be technological in origin. Of course, we will know much more in the coming month or two, and it may not be it may be just a comet, but I think it's important to consider the possibility that any interstellar object coming into the solar system might be technological.
Exactly. And how is that controversial? Like I said earlier, he's just saying about the possibilities, right? The possibilities of it could be. That's it. It's not controversial.
Because if you just consider the last century, we started transmitting radio signals, basically flagging that we exist as a technological civilization. And there is this dark forest hypothesis that is the answer to Fermi's paradox. Where is everybody? Well, they might be silent, waiting to notice things that might be a threat to them because they were bruised in interactions. So there might be a lot of aliens around. And if someone was listening to our technological signals, they might have realized that here there is a young technological civilization, and we don't want to have that threat. So they would send a hostile mission towards Earth. Of course, that may not be the case. We don't know. But it's the kind of threat that is not often entertained.
Well, it's true, mate. It's true. So, what do you think? Is it just a comet? Just a strange-looking comet? and it's just coincidence with all these mathematical impossibilities, like 0.2%, or is it Project Bluebeam? Whatever it is, it's pretty interesting, and I think that sooner or later, at some point, we are going to have some sort of. This is what interests me, is because, like I say, we're going to have some sort of interaction with alien life at one stage. We are. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be in my lifetime, it might not be in 100 years, 1,000 years, but at some stage, we will. Okay? Because, like I said earlier, if you've got that idea that the universe is infinite, but then you've got infinite possibilities, and then you've got pretty much infinite timelines, which means then you've got infinite possibilities of technology, right? So it's just a matter of time. It really is. Anyway, the second thing that I wanted to speak about, which I'm so glad Jessica Ortiz got back to me, because I remember somebody sent me this on email, and I was like, that's amazing. And then I tried to find it. I couldn't find it. I must have accidentally deleted it on my emails or something like that, because sometimes my emails get so full, it tells me to delete emails. So I have to delete ones, especially ones with attachments, because they hold up so much of my memory. And I was like looking for it everywhere, and I forgot all about it. And I was just like, I'm gutted. I couldn't find that. And then yesterday I was looking, and all these people are making TikToks about this thing. I was like, what? So I reached out to Jessica. I said, look, did you send me this video? Because people are covering it, and I've lost the... She goes, no, I didn't. Somebody else must have, but, thanks. And she's given me permission to use the clip on Instagram. And I haven't listened to it all yet, and I want to listen to it live with you. Okay, I've listened to the first part, but, it goes on for a while. But I think it's very important, because if I just show you this alien clip, you might be like, yeah, it's this. But I think it's important to have a bit of a backstory about what this thing is. I'm going to play the voice recording straight away, because, like I say, it goes on. Then I'm going to pause it here and there, because I want to show you this alien. This is crazy, all right? So, yes, basically, an alien has been caught in California. And mate, I'm telling you, when you see this, like this it's pretty much an alien, I gotta say, right? Listen to what Jessica has to say about this. This is really interesting.
I just want to point out how funny, and I think it's so cool. I can hear the excitement in your voice when you when you talk about how interesting the video is, and I like that. I like people who are actually trying to investigate it, for positive reasons, not to try and debunk it, because, I'm not hiding or claiming it's anything. That's one thing for the record.
I was excited. I was reaching out to her. I was like, look, mate, I really, this is amazing. Please, let me know about this.
I've never said it's, anything specific. I really don't know what it is. And so that's my whole thing, I if you read the caption on mine, I'm asking, can anyone tell me what this is? Because I don't know. And it's just really, really obviously, you see it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I've never claimed it to be an alien or a demon or, what people have suggested. I'm just, still after almost 2 months, still wondering what it is. People say it's a person carrying a bag and this and that, but the truth is that if you look at the video, over our door, there's a camera, and that camera faces the driveway. We have a camera in the back as well. As soon as you pass our back gate, that also triggers another camera. Our neighbors across the street, neighbors to our left, neighbors to our right, have cameras. And no one caught a person walking, even if our cameras didn't get triggered for whatever reason, which I understand sometimes happens. their cameras would have caught somebody walking or driving up, or anyone around that time coming into our property, but they didn't. None of the cameras were ever triggered at 1 o'clock in the morning. No one's, and some of them are not motion censored. They're constantly running, so that also confirms that no one pulled up. So no one can go in or out of our property without getting caught eventually on some camera somewhere, and no one did. I confirmed with the people who live in the back house, because we do have a back house. I'm very close to them, so I did give them a call at 1 o'clock in the morning. And well, let me start from the beginning. I was walking to my room from my son's room, and I had just finished having a conversation with him. And when I walked into my room, I unlocked my phone, and I'm assuming that the ring notification had just gone through, because it was about 4 minutes after it had captured the image. And so when I walked in and I unlocked my phone, it opened the video. So I never actually intended to go into my ring and view the video. It was just something that happened when I unlocked it, which is even crazier because I wasn't even looking. So as soon as the phone opened and it unlocked, since you see in the video, it happens right away. If you blink, you miss it. But I saw it, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was so confused. I was even talking to myself out loud. I was like, what the heck is this? Like, I'm going crazy. I'm losing my mind. And I walked back to my son's room and I showed him the video, and I asked him, hey, can you double check this for me? Because I think I'm seeing things, or I'm looking at it too close, or how sometimes you can look at something and somebody points out like, oh no, it's this. And okay, once you see it, you cannot see it. So I thought maybe I was looking
Is this eyes that I'm picking up on here?
too hard or whatever it was. And he sat up, he looked at the video about 3 times, and right away my son goes, Mom, it's an alien, call the police. And I'm like, I'm not going to call the police on an alien, Kevin. No, I'm not going to do it.
I'm not going to call the police on an alien.
Yeah, so he was really scared. Mind you, this is 4 minutes or so after it was captured. So it was captured at 1:03. I want to say about 1:07. By 1:09, I called my neighbor that lives in the house in the back of our property. They do work late sometimes, so if the gate opens at that time, like 1 o'clock in the morning, it's not uncommon because of the times that they work. So I called to confirm. By 1:09, I was calling to confirm, and I asked my friend, I go, hey, did your parents go in or out of the property right now? She's like, no, I don't think so. And I go, do me a favor, please go downstairs, go confirm with them, because I caught something on the ring and I think it looks really crazy, and I wanted to make sure it's not you guys going in or out.
I'm just wondering, is it like, because she said none of her neighbors saw anybody walking, and it didn't trigger off. If like, in order to get to that position, like, the cameras would have had to have gone off beforehand, and this has just popped up. And it just made me think, and I know I go on about it, and I know some people absolutely hate it when I go on about it, right? But I do have a love for it, right? The Miami Mall incident, where people were claiming, and I know, there's fireworks, Ben. There was a group of kids with fireworks. Okay, all right. Let's see the CCTV footage. Let's see everybody's mobile phone footage, right? Let's see the police camera footage. But what I'm saying is, those things were the people were claiming for those to be interdimensional alien shadow bastards. Okay? These things were flickering. Is this bit here where This alien is like there, the glitch. Like, why? I mean, I'm not being funny, but if we like look at the distance between each frame, but okay. Look at the distance between each frame. Just a couple of inches between each frame. Why? Why aren't we seeing it from here to here to here to here? And there just so happened to be a glitch just when it appears. Is this it coming into the realm of the paranormal? Let's go back to what she says. Sorry, Jessica.
She goes downstairs. She asks. Both of them say no. Where's your brother? He's asleep. Okay. I go, I'm going to send you a video. I need you to tell me what you think you see. I send it to her right away. And she's like, oh my God, why did you send me this? Like, she was afraid, you know, so that kind of gave me like a little bit more validation, you know, that my son got scared. I got scared. So it looks really creepy.
It is, love. And look, also, we've got some sound here too. What's up with the sound there, Jessica? Do you know?
And I didn't want to go outside and look. I was too scared to go outside and look. You know, but in my mind, like, this is still in our backyard because this just happened. It's not barely even 5 minutes after it happened. So I'm terrified. My son's terrified. And he tells me, Mom, close my windows. So I put my hand through the curtains, but I never actually look outside. I just close the windows without looking out. And yeah, it was really scary. You know, at that moment, it was really scary. And so the next morning, I wake up and the first thing I do is I start asking my neighbors.
Right, okay, she's going to ask her neighbors, but just look at this thing here that I've got, right? Just look at this thing here that I've got. I'm going to show you something else a minute.
If they had caught anything, if, you know, I showed them the video, my neighbors are freaking out, you know, and some of them even show me right then and there, like at the moment, because they have it on their phones, and no one's cameras caught anything. My front neighbor from across the street, she has a camera pointing down her driveway. It lines up with our driveway. And no one came in or out of the property. And that freaked me out a little more, you know. My aunt lives next door, like the house right next door to our right. It's the one that's by the driveway where it's actually captured. I had uploaded the video that night when it happened, and maybe an hour or so after it happened, because I wasn't going to call the police. So I was just wondering actually if anyone had seen anything that looked like that. I had even put it on the Compton Facebook groups. So in the morning, I went to go check, you know, next door with my aunt as well. And she tells me then that about maybe 12:40, 12:45, she had heard 2 loud bangs on the roof of her house.
She heard 2... What? She heard 2 loud bangs on the roof of her house? Right, I'm showing you this dude here, right? I'm showing you this dude here because this is a video that I did. When did I do this? A year ago, okay? And it looks so darn realistic. Look at this thing. Look at the head. And no one, look at the head, mate. And no one's debunked this yet, guys. Right? And I'm just saying.
She was in the kitchen, and after the second bang, she said she heard like crawling, like scratching noises. Um, she said she knew that it wasn't outside, like in the backyard. She said it wasn't like under the house. She heard it on the top, like on the roof. And she said while she heard those scratching noises, she heard a third loud bang. Um, she said after that third bang, she ran into her room and she started to pray. She said she was terrified.
Oh.
And it's very uncommon for us to feel any type of fear or feel like we're not safe here in our home. You know, this block is very quiet, it's very calm. And so for her to feel terrified, you know, in the way that she did, and for us to be here at home scared the way that we were, you know, that's not a coincidence, you know. That's another thing that, you know, kind of confirms this for me, because it's a gut feeling, you know. And people can try and say it's a person, it's carrying this, it's carrying that, but in that moment when you feel that fear, you know that everything that you know is logical to think, or you know, you try to find a solution, you know, to whatever problem it is that's kind of making you think like that, is not following through. You know, it's not, I can't explain it, but you know it's not a person.
Yeah.
And it's scary. But I didn't want to go outside and look. And that just kind of confirmed also what, you know, what we were hearing. I mean, what we were seeing, and just kind of, you know, just the time and everything. But I never, yeah, like I said, I never went to go outside and look, and nobody else did. And, you know, none of the other cameras were triggered, and that's the only one that caught anything. And that was it. You know, it's just taken off, you know, once I posted it online from there. But I hope that answered most of your questions.
It did,
If
Jessica.
you have any, you can feel free to ask me, and I'll try to do my best to give you as much information as I can. But again, the video is the one that's on my Instagram.
Thank you, Jessica, so much. This is weird, man. And you can tell as well. First of all, she sounds bloody lovely, doesn't she? Right? But you can tell as well that, you know, when someone's bullshitting, and she didn't seem like she was bullshitting, man. What the actual F are you? But can you see the resemblance here? Is this the daddy of the mummy? And this is the kid? Like, what the? Look at it! What do you reckon? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I ain't got time now. You have to subscribe and then come back for the next video and see the UFOs and other alien things that I've got, mate. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.